Okay, 所以大家准备好吗? Is everyone ready? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. My name, and by the way, if you have any question, just raise your hand or something, or like text me in the chat box. All right. So my name is Cindy, and today I'm gonna talk to you about some tips of public speaking and performing, and other things like that, like presenting in your work or school. So first question, you might be wondering, who am I to talk to you about this? Well, I wouldn't say I'm a professional, but I've done a lot of presentations and public speaking events and performances. And as you can see here, I've done a TEDx talk that's last May, I think. So if you don't know what that is, you might have heard of TED. That's like a platform that's like a platform for all kinds of speeches. It's like world famous. And TEDx is basically like local organizations can get a license from TED and they can host their own event. So this one is TEDx Youth. That's a college, as you can see here, that's my school. So yeah, and by the way, I'll be using these examples during the whole presentation. So I'm gonna talk more about it as I go on. And next, I've done this speech contest. Again, that's with my school, but it's at this local competition that involves several schools, I think. And there's debate. I went to this Harvard debate summer school. That's right, Harvard. And yeah, that's me and my teammate. So yeah, it's kind of like a summer camp thing. And then there's school play. Obviously that's at our school, but unfortunately, like I didn't actually get to perform it because as you know, apparently schools are all shut down because of the coronavirus. Like we were supposed to perform when we get back, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that anymore. But still, we did a lot of rehearsals, so I counted that one as well. And well, like before, I've done like the TOEFL test and the IELTS test a couple of times. So yeah, the oral section of these tests kind of count as well. And of course, if you've been here before for my music lessons, you might know that I've done like a lot of music shows, like a lot. They're mostly at my school, but also my best friend and I would go to this local nursing home that's kind of near our school, and we would do shows there for the old people as well. It's kind of like charity. So anyway, I'm gonna get into the topic. And so first, I'm gonna talk about why you want to do public speaking and performing, then where to find opportunities, what things are you gonna like present to the audience, how to practice and prepare, and finally the big moment on the stage, like just some tips for actually performing. So first, yeah, just please don't like scribble on the screen, please. I don't know how to get rid of this. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so first and foremost, you want to do public speaking and performing because every time you do it, you gain experience. And you might say, yeah, but I might not use it. You will need it someday, whatever job you do or whatever you do with your future, like you're gonna use it one way or another. And sorry, just 1 second, please do not draw on the screen. Thank you. And wait, there's someone else. And next, opportunities are precious. Like, for example, for me, when I first heard that there's going to be a TEDx event at our school, I was so excited because since I was young, I was watching TED Talks. I was like, wow, it's going to be so amazing though if I can be one of those people. So yeah, I knew that I would never forgive myself if I let the chance pass, and it turned out really great. So yeah, it's always worth it. And next, well, this is especially for if you're like shy or if you have trouble with public speaking, like the more you practice, more confidence you're gonna get. And yeah, it's a really amazing feeling. And yeah, well, related to that, there's the mental toughness, because it's public speaking or performing is not just about like the moment on the stage. It's also about preparation, which can be really long and it's a challenge to you. And also sometimes you have to deal with people, like for example, with the TEDx talk again, I had like the organizers didn't really like my talk at the beginning, so I had to persuade them. Like there's a lot of interpersonal skills involved as well. And next, well, of course, you make yourself heard. And again, that can be a really great feeling because like for music shows, like for example, me, I'm always really happy that people can enjoy the music that I make. And for the TEDx talk and the speech contest, for example, I talk about things that I really believed in. Like for example, I talked about how schools should be better suited to the needs of introverts for my TEDx talk. And that's something that I really wanted to get out there. So, and that's one of the reasons I did it. And of course, even if you just do it one time and whatever you do, like if you do something like this even once, you're gonna have a lot more appreciation for like professional singers or actors or motivational speakers, because it's a lot of hard work and it's good to understand what people are doing every day. And finally, as I mentioned before, it's fun. Like sometimes you do it just for fun, and that's a valid reason. And it might be hard for some of you to believe that it's fun because I know there are people out there who dread public speaking and performing, but at the end of the day, if you take away the fear factor, it's so fun. So next thing we're going to talk about, where do you find opportunities? Let's back to the first one, sorry. Well, first, I know it sounds cliche, but you just have to look, because we all live in different places, obviously, and we have different social groups. So I can't tell you like where exactly to find the opportunities that you need. But some ideas here would be like from school, for example. Like if you remember when I talked about my experiences, they're almost all related to school, and mostly they're in my high school. So yeah, school is a really nice place. And also it's really important to practice these skills when you're a student, because you're young and usually the crowd in your school is more friendly than like random people that you're gonna meet later. But anyway, well, sometimes you will have local competitions and events. Like for example, here for TEDx, as you can see here, these are all the local TEDx events that are going on like right now. And for example, if we zoom into where we live, which is Montreal, you can see there are a few dots here as well. For example, there's one here downtown, and there's a few like in Laval. This one's probably going to happen. I think the virus might be gone by then. Or, well, I don't think this one's going to happen because it's in May. You never know. But that's just for you to know that there are local opportunities. And well, if you're daring, you can try street performing. It's kind of radical, but I'm just putting this out there. Like for example, in Montreal, well, if you perform above ground, you have to get a license. But if you perform underground, like in the metro station, here are like the spots that are available, and you just have to sign up. It's really cool. And then of course it's 2020, so you can do it on social media. I haven't talked about that too much. And of course you can be your own audience. Like for example, no one ever watches my YouTube channel. Basically, like I have one. If you've been here before, you might remember me talking about it all the time. And yeah, I don't really care about how many views I get. It's just for me to have fun. So next, we're gonna talk about what to present or perform. So first and foremost, you have to be passionate about what you're doing. Like that, well, at least it's something very important for me, because personally, if I don't feel that it's interesting, I feel that like if I don't even enjoy it, my audience will be bored to death. So, but sometimes like you might say, oh, but what if, I have like a school subject I really don't like, but I have to make a presentation. But I have to make a presentation, or like, I have this work thing, but I hate my job. Well, my advice is, if you hate your job, don't do that job. Just kidding. But still, you have to at least like what you're doing. And if you don't like it, try to make it interesting to you. Like, try to find the point of interest, because that's the only way you can engage your audience. And speaking of your audience, you have to think about them as well. It's not just about you. And for example, if now, like, I'm obviously now I'm doing online classes, but if I like say that I really, really like having spiders as my pets, and I want to share that with everyone, well, I'm pretty sure that most likely a lot of you are not gonna like that. So yeah, so again, who you're talking to is also something to keep in mind. And then you want to avoid cliches or make something new out of the old stuff. Again, using my own example, if you've been here before, like you might remember like that I did the song "Someone You Loved" at one of my school performances. And if I just went up there and I was just singing and playing the piano, like did it like original, people would be like, yeah, that's kind of boring. But because that song's so overdone, by the way, if you don't know. But instead, I made this like hip hop rap version of it, and people really enjoyed it. So that's why it's important to be creative. And then you want to support your arguments with evidence. And just check this out. This is from debate. Like, this is from my debate camp last year. And actually, debate is a real example of why you should use evidence. Like, because debate is basically two teams arguing over something. Your opponents can basically say like, no, that is not valid because there's nothing to support it. So actually, this is a document of the blocks we made. That's what we call it. And as you can see here, I didn't write any of these. These are just like pieces of articles online. So you can see here the links and stuff like that. Like, we actually have to quote these when we talk. So yeah, that's the importance of evidence and research. And then you want to make it as short as possible. So if you look at the example here, that's a playlist of almost every school show I've done. And as you can see, except for this one and this one, these are mostly all under 5 minutes. And I mean, even this one's even a little too long. Like, that's something my music teacher told me. When you're performing at a show, unless you're like a celebrity or something, try to keep it from like 2.5 minutes to 4 minutes, or else you want to leave people wanting more. Well, that's kind of like a life lesson as well. Like, it's kind of like dating. You don't want to be like, you don't want to come on too strong. Like, you want to play hard to get low. Well, yeah, just kidding. But yeah, it's kind of like that with performing as well. And then you want to have the creative and memorable beginning, because I think that there's a theory that's like you capture the audience's attention in the first 7 seconds or something. So if you check it out here, that's my YouTube channel, by the way. Can't subscribe or not, but that's my TEDx talk.
Having a conversation.
Well, not this. I don't look like that. But still, even with like this random YouTube ad, like, it's trying to catch our attention, like with the first few seconds. That's actually a really good example here. Well, I didn't make this animation, but still, even before the actual speech starts, they're making something to try to make the beginning interesting. How did you feel about the noise? So that's the beginning of my speech, and yeah, like that's one of the ways to get creative, because I was playing like a clip of noise, and people will be like, "What? Is there a technical difficulty or something?" But actually, I was just trying to say, like, it's kind of like an analogy for how introverts are drowned out by extroverts, which is the topic of my speech. So yeah, that's an example, and another example will be like here. Someone you love, someone you love, someone you love. So yeah, that's the video of Someone You Love, by the way. Again, if you've been here before, you might know that video. And so yeah, that's okay, just please don't write on the screen, please. Okay. Okay. Yeah, like that's how I caught the audience's interest, because it started out like, yeah, it's just another just quiet love song, but then like boom, it's a rap song, like gotcha. So yeah, so you want to have a good beginning, and then if you have slides or PowerPoint, like especially for like work or school presentation, you want to have as little words there as possible. So if you look at this, which is the slides I used for my TEDx talk, so you can see I didn't really put words there, just numbers, like big number, or like this diagram, how people burn their energy or increase their energy when they socialize. Well, that's a quote, that doesn't really count. And the picture, and then big simple phrases. And because if you put too many words on your slides, people are not going to read it. So it's good to keep the slides simple. And finally, no last minute changes. That's very, very important. I know this friend of mine who likes to do that a lot, and every time she does it, she panics. So just don't do that. And again, it's like kind of like life lesson as well. Just don't be impulsive. Because for one of my shows, I said something that I wasn't supposed to at the beginning. And if I planned that out 5 days ago, I would have realized that it's a very bad idea. But still, I just thought of it like at the moment. So that's something you shouldn't do. Just even if it's a really great idea, if it's the last second, don't change anything. So yeah, that's basically the general guidelines of what percent OM. So, but still, just remember, the first one is still the most important, something that you're passionate about. Actually, I'm going to show you this video right here.
But they mentioned illegal immigration, right? And I used to do this a lot, and people couldn't get enough of it, to be honest with you. And I haven't done it for a while. And I thought I'd do it tonight. Ready? So important, illegal immigration. On her way to work one morning, down the path, along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and as soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been fully revived. Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed that vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, the snake gave her a vicious bite.
So yes, that's a great example of talking about what you believe in. Like imagine that Hillary Clinton did a speech. Well, that would, I think it's pretty obvious that the effect will be not as good as if Trump did it. Anyway, our next point, how to prepare. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of you might be coming here for today instead of all the crap before. But anyway, the first thing that's first and foremost, practice. I cannot stress this enough. If you don't practice, you're not going to be able to do anything else. You have to practice until you don't have to think on stage, until it's just like muscle memory. And you have to like brainwash yourself. And here's an example of me doing that. So that's my room in my dorm at school. And as you can see here, I have a lot of sticky notes. And these are my lines from the school play. And every morning I will wake up and look at them. I mean, I know it sounds like something from a movie, but that's true. And it worked. So yeah, you just want to brainwash yourself. And also, like, if you're playing a song or if you're doing a speech, like, you can record yourself doing it or listen to the original and just put it on repeat. So actually, that's a great tip for language learning as well. Listen to things on repeat, but that's for another day. But anyway, next you want to make cue cards if you're doing a speech. These are my cue cards from the TEDx speech. And as you can see here, I only put the keywords on the cue cards. Like, I mean, it's been almost a year now, so I can't even read. I can't even understand what's on the cue cards, and that's the whole point. The point of cue cards is not to copy and paste your speech, is to just remind yourself of the key parts. So, and also, if you're trying to memorize something or actually practice something, like you want to do it in segments. So as you can see here, that's the full script of the speech. It's kind of small, but I think you can see that I color-coded the whole thing. Like I put it in sections: introduction, environment, collaboration. And actually, I used the same color coding system as the cue cards, if you didn't know this. But yeah, and I also marked the keywords in my script. And I just remember them one segment at a time, and I remember them in order. So, I mean, it really helps to have a mind map kind of what you're saying. It's kind of like a safety net, because if somehow you forget on stage, you can kind of remember where you left off. And then, of course, you want to audio or video record yourself. And actually, I'm going to talk about the importance of this one later on. But yeah, that's very important. And also, if you're doing a show with multiple people, like a play or a song or something, you don't need everybody together for every practice. That just wastes time. Like, and that's kind of the same spirit as reciting things in segments. You want to put your people into segments. Like, you have to make sure that everyone's good before putting everyone together. And next, you want to familiarize with yourself with the venue. That's just for psychological reasons. And also to make sure that something funny doesn't happen on the actual day. I mean, again, take myself as an example. Most of my shows are at our school on our stage, but I mean, like I'm very familiar with the stage already. I basically live there because I go there so much. But still, like I still make sure that I rehearse at the exact same spot, just because. And I have 10 minutes left. I think I can finish. Anyway, and then don't over rehearse right before. For some reason, that makes things worse. I mean, the practicing should be like way before the show, like right before it's for relaxing. And then finally, I know it sounds trivial, but wear something that you're comfortable in and don't change your appearance right before the show. Like this. These people are the same person. They're both me. And in this picture, somehow I stayed in the sun too much, so I look like I look pretty tanned. And then like I cut my own hair like 2 weeks before the show. Don't ask me why. So I mean, like just don't try anything new with your appearance because it's gonna turn out like this. But at least I was wearing something that was comfortable in. Everybody kept telling me to wear a dress or a skirt, like most females are supposed to, I guess. But I was like, no, I'm more comfortable dressing like Steve Jobs, so here I am. So yeah, so that's basically how you prepare for a show. And finally, for the big moment, first I want to talk about the thermometer theory. Now, it's not a real theory. I came up with that, but it works for me at least, and I hope it works for you. So just think of yourself as a thermometer. You know how thermometers work, right? Like if you have one that's like the limit is at 100 degrees and you put it in say 60-degree water or an 80-degree water, your like the thermometer is going to look different. However, if you put it in like 110 degree water or 120 degrees water, like you won't be able to see the difference. It's just going to stay 100 degrees. And that it's like that with humans as well. Like you will stop feeling scared after a certain point. I know it's hard to believe, but usually, at least for me, every single time I'm more scared like before I go on the stage than when I'm on the stage. I mean that's I think there's a saying like the fear of fear is worse than the fear itself or something. So next, speak way slower than you think. I know right now it's not the best example I'm doing, but I'm just trying to get a lot of information in 7 minutes and 15 seconds because I'm too petty to upgrade Zoom. But anyway, someone else is coming. Okay. So I want to show example here again. Again, that's my speech.
Damn it, how could this have happened?
Well, that's not me.
Here's something important to remember about.
So I'm just gonna skip to the end because to use that as an example. So this is my personal favorite part of my speech right here. And first, I want you to listen to it in double time. So, and everything else will come naturally. Just listen. Stop assuming and demanding and stereotyping. Instead, listen to what a kid in the corner is trying to say in class. Listen to how the day has been going for the quiet girl. Listen to what a so-called nerd is doing in his room all day. Listen to all those voices that have been drowned out for so long, and I promise you'll find answers that you've never heard before. Thank you. So, I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's actually the speed that most people will speak in. And, like you might have gotten information or not, please do not draw on the board. Like I'm just gonna erase it, just 1 second. I mean, seriously, whoever's doing this, please. Okay. Like, if you speak like this, you will not have a huge emotional impact. Like people will just be like, yeah, okay. And sometimes if you talk too fast, people won't be able to catch what you're saying. Now, as in comparison, listen to it in normal speed. So, else will come naturally. Just listen. Stop assuming and demanding and stereotyping. Instead, listen to what that kid in the corner is trying to say in class. Listen to how the day has been going for that quiet girl. Listen to what a so-called nerd is doing in this room all day. Listen to all those voices that have been drowned out for so long, and I promise you'll find answers that you've never heard before. Thank you. So as you can see, that has a lot more emotional impact, and you can actually hear what I'm trying to say. So it's very important to speak way slower than you think, because when people are nervous, they tend to speak faster. And then of course, humor and honesty are your best friends. Like, I think a lot of you might have heard that, like, some people when they go on stage will be like, so hi everyone, and so actually I'm super nervous right now, like my palms are all sweating, and I have my cue cards in my back pocket, and then the audience will laugh and that person will feel way better. So again, that's a great trick. Just be vulnerable about how scared you're feeling. And next, we're kind of running out of time, trying to go quick, but focus on pronunciation, not accent, because your accent is not something you can change easily, and you shouldn't. No, it's something that's very unique about yourself, but still you want to pronounce the words so that people can understand what you're saying, which is the whole point. And try to move your gaze slowly, make eye contact one-on-one, don't just like sweep across the room, that will make you appear panicked. And don't stop when you make a mistake. Again, that's super important, because most times, like especially in musical performances, people cannot tell when you make a mistake. Or like when you're giving a speech and maybe you leave out a paragraph, well, the audience doesn't know that it's supposed to be there. So just, and you'll be fine. So, and stay in one spot, don't fidget, that's pretty obvious, and don't run off the stage, because again, that makes you look panicked. So yeah, these are the main things I talked about today. I'm gonna post this on the group chat later, of course, so you can like review if you want. And here are some final thoughts. Well, first, it gets easier every time, as mentioned before. Like, it might be hard to believe, but just go out and do it, and it actually gets easier. Even for me, like, as I mentioned, I've done a lot of these things before, but still, I still find myself improving and just getting more comfortable every single time. So also you want to lower your expectations. Also, that's also like a life lesson as well. You know, when you expect less, you're happier. And I mean, seriously, you're not like Martin Luther King or something, or like Beyonce, or like, it's not gonna be perfect. Okay, I have less than a minute, so you can just read these, like, and then finally, I just want to show you that I have some resources here, so you can check these out after class. So yeah, I don't think we have time now, so if you have any questions, you can just like text me and reach out later. Except from that, I hope you enjoyed the class, and I hope you learned something, and please give me some feedback if you can. So yeah. Thank you very much for your time and attention.